I'm currently at Beachy Head, which is a lesser known strange phenomena hotspot, and this is where the land meets the sea and the UFO phenomenon and the paranormal seemingly join at the hip. Let me tell you some stories and let's explore. Now, for many years there's been reports of UFOs all the way as far back as around the 1800s of strange glowing orb-like objects rising out of the ocean and then coming inland, disappearing, or heading back out again and dropping back into the water. And this is a phenomenon that has been reported for the longest time, and for some reason whenever there is UFO sightings, the paranormal phenomena seems to kind of coexist alongside it together. So whether there's a link there, I'm not too sure. And recently there was a skywatch which was organised in Eastbourne, and they saw the exact phenomena of orbs jumping in and out of the ocean and then disappearing as well.
Coastlines are some of the most reported locations for unidentified aerial phenomena, and people describe lights that don't behave like aircraft, changing direction, hovering and fading. And most sightings eventually find explanations, but not all experiences feel explained. In many UFO encounters, the most unusual detail isn't what was seen in the sky, it's what happens to time. Across many reported encounters, whether that's unexplainable lights in the sky, strange figures on the land, or in places of vast scale like cliffs and coastlines, people often describe something unusual happening to time. Minutes feel longer and hours seem to pass unnoticed, and some realise they've been standing still far longer than they intended, and others struggle to recall the exact sequence of events. Researchers don't describe this as missing time, but as narrowing of attention. And East Sussex has been a hotspot for UFO reports for decades. One report of a very large round object followed by another green conical object, both moving quickly. A report of a bright orange light travelling in a straight line from Brighton Centre, which then passed over the house. Saw 6 moving orange balls glowing. They were following each other, 1 minute between them. There was no noise. Now, these are just 3 reports from East Sussex out of 1,000 that exist on the government website. And how many thousands of sightings happen without people officially reporting them? And there's hundreds of sightings alone where people witness stuff happening over Beachy Head, which get passed around as stories and then forgotten to time.
Now, one report which really sticks with me, and I kind of draw parallels to the whole Warminster situation near Battlesbury Hill and the Clay Hill situation, where there's these large, tall shadow figures get reported, and they are the same ones that are reported here. They are tall, slender, they move quick, they don't look like they move their arms and legs when they move to and from, they just kind of slide and glide. They're blacker than the night sky, and they have no facial features, no clothes or anything. They're just this dark, dense, shadowy matter. Now, again, when the UFO phenomena is near, for some reason, these shadowy figures get seen quite a lot. Now, there's a thought process that kind of ticks in my mind where I'm like, what if these are higher dimensional beings or higher dimensional objects that can't fully render into our physical plane, and they are presenting themselves as this shadowy type phenomena? And we see this shadow phenomena, especially in the skies as well. If they are higher dimensional and things that our human brains and this realm can't physically perceive, they would kind of manifest in such odd and profound ways. Now, again, correlation between the UFO phenomena and the paranormal, maybe there is a deeper link then and we really need to pay attention to.
And one report goes as follows. I was told this a couple of days ago by an elderly gent I was talking to. Long story short, he was walking his dog several years ago, wintertime, early afternoon, clear sky but cold, on Beachy Head near Eastbourne. He said that he suddenly and for no reason felt like he shouldn't have been there, like really shouldn't have been there. The hairs on his arms and necks were standing up, and he said he felt something of pure evil. His dog was stood close behind his legs, whimpering and shaking. It was then he saw a very large shadow thing about 50 feet away emerge from the patch of scrub. He said it resembled a person but appeared to glide rather than walk, but with the motion of walking, if that kind of makes sense. He said it felt as if this thing seemed to suddenly realise he was there, and the feeling of evil increased. He turned and ran with the dog back to his car a short distance away, and he never returned. Now, this is one report of many, and people experiencing the same type of phenomena along the edges and around Beachy Head itself, so it's a little bit weird. Now, there is one thing to take note of. As beautiful as Beachy Head is, unfortunately it's a prime spot that people decide to go to unalive themselves, so there is a lot of lost souls and energies that is dispersed there, so maybe some of these encounters are some of the people that are no longer here with us. Maybe, just a thought.
Now, Beachy Head for many, many years has had so much strange and odd behaviour linked with the site location itself, and the reports date back as far as man has been writing on pen and paper, and possibly before. Now, this is a Neolithic and Bronze Age type area. I know we've got Long Manor, Wilmington down the road, and there's a lot of strange reports of shadow type animals seen in the area, whether that be shadow dogs over in Long Manor, Wilmington, and over here, big cats and strange cat-like sightings have been reported and written down, and some of them apparently range to the size of a Labrador, you know, an adult Labrador, which is pretty damn big.
Among the many stories tied to Beachy Head, two figures appear again and again. They don't have names in any official record, they're known simply as the Black Monk and the Grey Lady. The Black Monk is described as a tall, dark figure, often robed, sometimes hooded. Witnesses rarely describe a face, just a human-shaped outline, standing still or moving slowly along the cliff pass. There's no historical monk known to be tied to the place. The names come from the silhouette, a shape the mind recognises. There are talks online that the monk has beckoned people to walk off the edge and plunge to their deaths, but there's no real verifiable evidence that that's the case, other than just speculation. What's striking isn't what the figure does. It doesn't speak, it doesn't approach, it's simply noticed, often when someone has been standing still for a rather long time. And the Grey Lady appears differently. She's often described as pale, indistinct, sometimes walking ahead on the path. People report following her for a moment only to realise she's no longer there. And much like the monk, she's seen briefly, and like the monk, she appears most often in the mist, low light, and changing weather. At places like Beachy Head, the mind looks for something familiar, a person, a presence, or a shape, and sometimes it finds one. Whether these figures exist outside the mind is a question without an answer, but the experience of seeing them and the silence that follows is something people remember. Beyond lights in the sky, figures on the land, or shapes moving through fields, people reported other things here, subtle things. Some describe hearing sounds that don't seem to come from any clear direction, footsteps that fade when you stop walking, voices carried by the wind, indistinct, impossible to place, and others describe a sudden stillness as if the landscape itself has paused. One of the most common reports isn't visual at all, it's the feeling of being observed, not watched by something specific, just a heightened awareness of presence. Psychologists note that the feeling often appears when attention becomes deeply focused and peripheral awareness fades. Now, from my personal experience walking around this area, I had no bad or dark feelings. The place was absolutely beautiful and the landscape was just quite surreal to be amongst. Although it was very cold, but there was nothing really negative that really set in for me. Although everyone's perception is very different and I know that. But there was another strange correlation that I want to talk about more is wherever there is a UFO phenomena presence, the paranormal side seems to kind of be closely linked. Whether that's an indication that potentially veils between multiple realities are very thin at these points, so both of these things kind of interact, or some of these beings, these shadow-like figures, are higher dimensional entities which can't fully manifest in our physical realm, and they get presented as this weird shadow-like figure, and even objects that are higher dimensional that you can observe in the sky sometimes present themselves this way as well. So maybe there's some sort of correlation there, and again, when it comes to people's specific experiences, like myself and my family, having quite profound paranormal experiences in the past and growing up, and then the UFO phenomena kind of sped up later in our life. I mean, there's a correlation there with that as well, and for many people that I've spoken to, there's definitely a bridge there, man. And with the research that I've done with crop circles and areas where there's heightened UFO activity, I'm also finding that even with the paranormal, areas where there's chalk and quartz geology, this is a Jurassic coastline, seems to attract a lot of this phenomena. There's chalk there, and there's flint rocks present in the geology of the area, which is another weird thing. It's something that I just keep finding when I get to the real nitty-gritty, unexplainable phenomena, right? I just want to thank you all so much for watching. This was an amazing experience, again, to go there and kind of tell the story a little bit of the area and kind of show some of the scenery, because it is absolutely gorgeous. And hopefully, I can give you guys some holiday ideas, right? And I want to give a quick shout out to my donors of Buy Me a Coffee. You guys have been amazing because you've really helped me out, and the donations that you guys are giving me goes towards equipment, fuel, and just basically doing more trips of this nature and showing you guys some more interesting stuff that we have in and around our landscapes. And hopefully I can go abroad soon. So I want to give a shout out to Gabbygirl07, Spy on the Streets, Al, Kerry, Adam Sins, and Fran, mate. I thank you guys so much to every single one of you. Big love to you. It means so much. And again, if you guys want to like, share, and subscribe, do that, because that also helps just as much as well. So again, thank you all so much. See you in the next one.